Hi, this is Keith Bryant, live at Apex, and I'm here with Don Dennison. Welcome, Don.
Keith, how are you doing?
Good, thank you. We're going to ask you the secrets of your success today.
Excellent.
So maybe start off with a bit about yourself and your business, and we'll build it up from there.
Sure. I've been in this business for about 30 years now. Some of my clients are on your back wall here, and we've been very successful in the Northeast, and now I'm expanding out a little bit to the West Coast as well. I've got a few companies out here that I'm dealing with as well.
So, why the success?
Well, it's just hard work. I think I put the grind in every day. I try to meet 5 clients every day and keep busy that way, and keep up on all the new technology, which is helpful to come out here to Apex and see what's up and coming. So I've managed to bring at least 8 of my clients from the East Coast out here this year, and I've been giving walking tours through Apex and getting them to see some of the equipment that's out there as well.
So what do you consider the key differentiators between you and the general market, shall we say?
Okay, well, I do a face-to-face with my clients as often as I can. The biggest part of my success is meeting with them at least once or twice a week and keeping up on all of their products and all of their issues that they're having. And I'm kind of the conduit between the equipment manufacturers and the customer. Whenever they have an issue, I provide a solution and try and get it fixed as quickly as possible. It's a 24/7 job, and you know I have to work on the weekends, and whenever they're working, they're calling me. So yeah. That's what I do.
Yeah. So it's basically go-to solution provider and personal touch and contact with all the people that you're dealing with.
Absolutely. That's what's helped my success. I'm pretty hands-on. I know the equipment that I sell, and I'm able to give them quick answers that they cannot always get on a Saturday or a Sunday.
Yeah.
So.
And what about the partners that you work with in terms of the equipment suppliers?
Well, this year I come out here every year and I win awards for what I do, but this year I decided that I was going to come out and provide awards to the best suppliers that I have. They helped make me successful this year. I work with Avon Tool for the past 2 years, and they've been outstanding. Whenever I have an issue, they respond instantly. I've been working with Kick with their thermal profiling. They've helped me out when I'm selling solder paste. I can now walk into a customer and resolve any soldering issues that they have with their ovens. I've worked with Metal Etch Services this year and provide stencils to my customers, and they're very hands-on, and they work very closely with my customers and keep them happy. That's the best part. And now I've started working with Weller for soldering stations, and Weller's been a great help to me with the soldering station. So it's been a good year with those, and I hope it continues.
Yeah, with people like Weller and Kick, they're like some of the best known names of the industry.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, if you're working with them and they're helping you become a better solution provider, then yeah, it's definitely a differentiator.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And what do you see as the challenges that you have going forwards?
Well, there's a new culture in our industry. We're bringing some young guns into the industry and training them. We really don't have too much of a training school for what we do in circuit board assembly, so bringing in the young people and training them on the equipment is part of my job as well. So I like to see them move up in the industry and learn different aspects of what we do, and they're successful, and it makes my life easier when they can take ownership of some of the equipment that they have.
Yeah, and it must give you a good feeling to be putting stuff back as well.
Yeah, it does. It's the enjoyable part of what I do now, not so much the driving back and forth to see people, but.
And question a lot of people are talking about here at the show are the tariffs. Do you have a view on this, or you think everybody will just find solutions to it like we find solutions to everything else?
Well, it's true. We will find solutions to it. I think the jury's still out on what's going to happen with the tariffs. We have to just wait and see how things progress. I think we're headed in the right direction to balance out the economy again. So I hope that we come to an agreement with the companies that are surrounding us and the different tariffs that are out there.
Yeah, we have to hope business is going to win through in the end.
Absolutely.
Okay then, well thank you for coming in and sharing with us. It's really good to hear about a good success story that's based around people and working together and cooperating, solving problems, and basically doing it in a very personal way.
Yep. Thanks, Keith. Thanks for having me.
No problem. And that's Keith Bryant live at Apex. We'll be back after this ad break.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kyoyoung Technology, true 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
Hi, this is Keith Bryant, live at Apex, and I'm here with Mike Gundersen from Board Shark. Welcome, Mike.
Thank you very much, Keith. I appreciate it.
Board Shark, interesting name. Tell us
It is.
about the business.
It is. So Board Shark's been around for about 10 years or so. And where they've developed, or where they came from, is some larger companies that are more, let's say, value-added brokers. But what they wanted to do is become more of that flexible, small, nimble company to be able to help customers as needed. So when it comes to acquiring circuit boards, there's a lot of variations, a lot of variables. And Board Shark's nimbleness and their variety of suppliers, mostly in Taiwan, but also in China and the US as well, has really allowed us to become a good, flexible, one-stop shop for many of our customers. I would say most of those customers being contract manufacturers. So.
Okay, so you have advantages over an OEM because a lot of people just use one board supplier for all of their boards, and you know, there's a sweet spot for every manufacturer,
Right.
like there's a sweet spot in a lot of things.
Exactly.
And you know, you're able to pick that sweet spot
Yeah.
and basically match the match the type of product needed to the best people to make it for quality and reliability and price.
You know what? You hit the nail on the head. There's a lot of manufacturers out there, but what we find is that most manufacturers, and I use that term sweet spot all the time, because if you stay within a factory sweet spot, then it does two things. Number one, it guarantees that it's going to be a good quality product. And number two, it's going to be on time because you don't have a factory trying to go outside of what they do well. And so what we do is when a customer needs some circuit boards, we take a look at what is the volume, what is the technology? Is it flex? Is it rigid flex? Is it a 50-layer board? Is it a 2-layer board? And we take a look at the technology, the volume, how much do they need, and then how fast do they need it? Do they need it in 4 days? Do they need it in 4 weeks? What is it? And so based upon that, we have 5 different factories in Taiwan, some quick turn, some volume. We have 8 factories in China, same thing there, a few quick turns, but we try to stay out of China with quick turns because we could get it out the door on time, but with flights and everything, it's kind of up in the air. Customer wants it fast. You don't want to build it in 4 days and have it take 8 days to get here. And then in the US, we have our, of course, ITAR, and then 24, 48-hour turns sometimes. So that's really what we take a look at. I would say most of our boards come from Taiwan at this point, which is kind of flipped, mostly because of speed and also tariffs. Tariffs are an unknown right now. You don't know what it's going to be. Some companies are looking at Vietnam, some companies are looking at Malaysia, some companies are looking at, of course, China, but now we get involved with all the BRICS stuff. And if the BRICS gets hit with a 100% tariff and those boards are on their way, the customer's might have to pay 100% tariff on boards that they ordered a month ago, and now it hits the US shores. So there's a lot of unknowns going on right now.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit stressful for some of your guys in procurement.
And us too. Yes.
Yeah, no, it's, as you say, there are a lot of unknowns out there, but we can just keep rolling forward. But no, I hear what you're saying about Taiwan. I've been chatting to a couple of people earlier today, and also Thailand is growing for bare printed circuit board manufacturers a lot. And again, that's because it's better than China. It has a skilled workforce. It has materials. It has all the other things. So I guess, you guys pretty much have a team looking at where the next big spot's going to be.
We've looked at Vietnam. Vietnam's pricing is actually higher than Taiwan right now. Everybody wants to get out of China, but nobody wants to pay any extra to do it. So that's the challenge that we have. One of the things that we're really trying to work with customers on is to, split their orders. Because when you switch a board shop, there could be some hiccups. And if, let's say, you're buying 1,000 boards a month, and those are all coming from China, let's send 100 of those to our factory in Taiwan, and that way what you have is you have that faucet turned on a little bit. So if something happens, and all of a sudden there's a 50%, 100% tariff out of China, then we already have that faucet turned on in Taiwan, and we can flip that over internally and not have the customer have to deal with it, have to worry about it. Now the price will go up from China, but if there's a hefty tariff on it, then it may or may not go up.
Yeah.
So,
and also, as you say, you have other issues within
Right.
the manufacturing options as well.
Right.
But no, I mean, a lot of people now are looking exactly the same way that
Yeah.
you described it. If not for a complete second source,
Right.
they at least have somebody in their back pocket if they need them.
Yes, and that's a big advantage I think that BoardShark has, because we have, even though the company's only been around for 10 years, let's say, but there's about a 20 plus year relationship that the owners of our company have with the owners of some of these Taiwanese companies. So when COVID hit, for example, some companies just could not get into Taiwan, because what happened is when China got shut off, the demand over in Taiwan raised drastically. And so a lot of Taiwanese companies were not taking any new customers.
Yeah.
So if you already had an in, then you were good to go. And our customers had that in through BoardShark.
Yeah.
So,
and obviously a lot of the companies that you're dealing with, they have a procurement team, but they're buying a whole wide range of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you guys are really honed in and specialized in what you do.
Some of our customers say that we're a good extension of their procurement team, because we truly take a look and do a lot of the things that, let's say, larger procurement teams do, but they might have one or two people in purchasing trying to do a lot of stuff. So we really do a good job of understanding what their requirements are, and also too, risk mitigation. That's a big thing that we're looking at now, is risk mitigation. So we can do all of that, and we do it anyway with customers, but now it seems like more companies are kind of flipping it over the fence to us and say, here, take care of me. I just don't want to go a line down. So,
well, that's for them, it's a sensible attitude, and for you, it's also good because at the end of the day, it's what you specialize in,
Right.
and the more work you have, then the better you can be for looking after everybody to an extent.
Exactly. And the other thing it does too is by the volume that we send to these different factories. We're spending millions of dollars a month sometimes, and so it gives us priority. So now we always say, you become the big fish, even though you might be a small company.
Yeah.
In our whole scope of things.
Yeah. And if tariffs are going to kick in and things are going to get messed up again, then that's always a great strength to have, is being it's better to be the biggest customer than the smallest one.
Oh, definitely. So who knows what's going on with tariffs? I mean, it could go away tomorrow. It could be triple what we see tomorrow. So until things settle out, which who knows, tariffs been going on for 3 or 4 years now. So I guess we'll see, is my best saying. I guess we'll see.
Well, I will wish you good luck with the challenging times, and thank you for
so
coming
much.
in and sharing
I
with us.
appreciate it. Thanks for your time, Keith.
That's Keith Bryant from Live at Apex, and we'll cut to an ad break.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kil-Young Technology. True 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
Hi, this is Keith Bryant, live at Apex, and I'm here with my good friend Olaf from IBL, and we're going to talk all things vapor phase. So, easy first question for you, Olaf. Tell us about the company.
Well, the company is pretty old already. It was founded back in 1987 by Mr. Leicht, who was the pioneer of development of vapor phase technologies, vapor phase machines, and he concentrated only on developing these and bringing them onto the market. The vapor phase technology was actually on the market much earlier, back in 50s, where it was presented to the world, but it did not really break through because of the fluids that were used in these machines. They were a bit toxic when they got heated up, but in the meantime the fluids that we use are very safe. And through all these years, since '87, we continuously kept on developing the machines, bringing batch machines, inline machines, machines that include vacuum technology. We have more than 30 patents and work basically with our distributors worldwide.
Okay, and let's do the next easy one for you. Vapor phase, we all know, has been around for a while. Maybe you can explain the basic differences between a vapor phase reflow and a standard IR or whatever reflow.
Yeah. Well, a convection oven heats up the assembly from top and bottom. And of course, these are good machines. You can basically solder with anything, but the question is what kind of quality you want to reach. And with our machines, the machines that we manufacture, they go mostly in the direction of aerospace industry, because this is where you need the really highest quality. The difference in the convection oven towards vapor phase is that convection oven heats up the assembly from top and bottom. Yeah, so you don't really get such an even heat up of the components and the solder compared to vapor phase. Vapor phase enters every single free space on the PCB, because the complete PCB is immersed into the vapor blanket. The other issue, which is very positive, is that you cannot overheat the components on the board, because the fluid that we are using have specified boiling temperature. Yeah, most of the customers, they use boiling temperature of 240 degrees centigrade. Some use 215, depending on if it's a leaded solder paste or lead free. And in end effect, in the machines, you get a very homogeneous way of heating up the assembly. In addition to this, one of the patents that we have, we can move the assembly to different heights within the vapor blanket. The reason is why. Put your hand on top of a boiling pot of water. The closer you go, the faster you feel the heat, obviously. The higher you are, it takes time before you will feel, okay, it's burning. So the energy transfer is much higher in the lower part of the vapor blanket compared to the higher one. As an example, if you take a complex board, which has voluminous components and small SMD chips, of course the small one will heat up much faster. So what we do when the profile takes place, profiling of the product, we move to the middle level, observe with the thermocouples, which are then connected to the board, the temperature development on the board, and we can then move to a higher area within the vapor blanket when we notice that there are temperature differences between component A and B. Yeah? And this way we wait until both components, or the crucial components which are interesting for us, reach the same temperature before we ramp up and move to the lower area. Yeah? The other factor is, of course, voiding. Yeah, we have the patented technology of so-called in-vapor vacuum. Here we have the vacuum chamber in the process chamber, in the vapor itself. So it has the same temperature as the product itself. So when you reach the melting temperature, we enclose the complete assembly and then we switch on vacuum. So we don't lose any temperature on the assembly. We don't have to transport it to a different position, preheat it again, yeah, and that's the way we are working.
So I can sit here quite comfortably and say vapor phase has moved forward a huge amount since the days when I used to use vapor phase.
Oh yes,
yeah, for sure. And obviously you're here at the show and you've got something new and exciting. So
yes,
I hope Summer can run the video of the product and you can talk us through it, and we'll talk some more later.
Yeah, yeah. So this is the CCS 100 machine, which is a high production volume machine, which is working with several workpiece carriers. But here what we have done is, instead of moving horizontally the PCB in the process chamber, we actually lift up the process tank. And the process tank, together with vapor, can be positioned to 80 different positions. And the difference between one level and the other one is 8 millimeters. Oh. Yeah, so we can really realize any kind of profile for any kind of product. It's a typical 24/7 machine, so means high volume machine.
I was going to say, it is a real production vapor phase.
Yes, correct, with the shape of a convection oven.
Yes, yeah, it answers a lot of the stumbling blocks that people have had with vapor phase of, it's okay in a lab, it's okay for 3 or 4 boards.
Yeah. So we have extended our range of machines, because especially this inline machine, we have become into the problem of old controllers which are not available anymore. So we could not, develop the machine any further. So this machine actually has the Hermes protocol. It has the IPC CFX. Yeah. So for any kind of modern production, everything is available now, and we use Siemens controller. So we work basically very tightly with Siemens altogether.
Yep. Okay. Thank you very much for coming in and sharing with us, Olaf.
Thank you for having me. It was a pleasure.
Good luck for the rest of the show.
Thank you.
That's Keith Bryant signing off for Live at Apex.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kil-Young Technology, true 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kil-Young Technology, true 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
And welcome back to Live at Apex with me, Trevor Galbraith. I'm delighted to be joined by a couple of guests this afternoon, the first of which is Jeremey Vanselous. Jeremy's from a company called SearchWorks. Welcome, Jeremey.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
it's good to see you again.
It is actually, and we did an interview not that long ago on a podcast, but I want to talk to you because you're right at the rock face in terms of companies that are looking to do hiring here in the United States in the electronics manufacturing space. What's the current status of the job market, and how are companies reacting to the current fluctuations?
Good question. I think the state of the employment market here in the manufacturing space, specifically electronic manufacturing space, is still, I would still call it very healthy, right? So we're still seeing plenty of demand from our clients for various talent. Mm-hmm. Where we do start to see and hear a little bit of uncertainty is more so on the candidate side of the equation.
Right.
So I think there's just a little bit of a lack of confidence right now in, from a stability perspective that's
mm-hmm.
got some folks, a little
in what
cautious.
Way they're thinking that the potential company that they're going to might start doing layoffs and it's last in, first out, that kind of thing.
Right. Always put yourself in a candidate's shoes, mm-hmm. right? And so if you're an established employee working at a company, but for whatever reason interested in new opportunity, but in this current environment, you think, oh well, if I do make this change now from my very comfortable situation into a new organization, not fully understanding how stable that environment is. Should things get a little soft, will you be the first one to go since you were the last one in?
Yeah.
And so part of what we need to do through our work is to help candidates through that thought process and work with our clients to make sure that they're prepared to offer that candidate that sense of security that they will seek as well. Right. Yeah, but it's still very healthy. Yeah, I'm very happy with the demand. The demand has actually shifted though quite heavily to sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. So normally our firm, we'll see about 30% of our work at any given time mm-hmm. in the sales function.
Yeah.
And then other functions like operations, supply chain, quality, programs.
Yeah.
Those others will represent, a mix of the other. But today, our pipeline is 60%, probably even closer to 70% sales.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
So,
there's a lot of opportunity out here at the moment. I mean, although there's we do know that there's a lot of projects that are on hold because of the geopolitical situation, the demand is still there. Everybody knows that the demand for data centers, yep. for space, for military is going to come straight through.
Yes.
The minute that
that is our hope, right?
Yeah.
That it comes rushing back, right?
Yeah.
As soon as we get this sense of some stability. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. And I think that's none of us know when that's going to be, but we're hoping it's going to be in the next couple of months.
We do. Yeah.
Yeah. So a candidate who's looking to get into the electronics industry, they're just finishing college. What would you, how would you guide them to look at a career in electronics manufacturing?
Yeah, well, I mean, it might be obvious where we're at, but I would guide them immediately to the IPC, right, to start to seek, very specific training and certifications. Mm-hmm. The IPC has been doing an amazing job creating, much better awareness around the electronic manufacturing industry as a whole, mm-hmm.
To
attract the next generation into it.
Right.
And then additionally, I would suggest they seek out internships. Mm-hmm. 5 years ago, maybe a little longer than that, but maybe 5 years ago or so, it would be very difficult to find an internship program in our case, like an EMS company.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see it. You might see it in a tier 1,
Yeah.
a Jabil, a Flex, a Celestica, but not down into the other tier space. And now all of those companies have really figured out that that's what they need to do as well. So I would seek out internships, get into it early, and learn, learn on the job.
I think that's really important. And, I did an interview a couple of days ago with a couple of gentlemen from Collins Aerospace.
Okay.
And they pioneered a very strong internship and mentorship program, which they said that the students should be looking for internships that are going to last 6 or 9 months, not a 3-month type gap.
Yeah.
Because you're only just learning where things are in the first month, and you need to be able to get into it. They hand off a few projects, and so you're given ownership of certain projects you have to deliver, and you really get a feel for what the job entails.
Yeah. I think those are very smart programs to invest in. Yeah. To kind of usher in, this next generation. Yeah.
I mean, I think there seems to be, a number of people that are leaving the industry, they're retiring.
Yes.
We've also got a number of people that are coming in at the bottom end, young people. But where the problem is in the middle.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. We have a couple of generations almost, missing in the industry. So it's either, more of an aging, population, which are going to start going away faster on the, about a 30,000 person per month clip here over the next 5 years. And then we're going to have a wave, of much younger talent coming in too, which is fantastic. Yeah. But the gap in the middle, that is the hard part. And it's going to take, years for that gap to close.
Yeah.
I'll guess probably somewhere between 5 and 8 years for that gap to close.
Fully, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
And, and so in the meantime, for those types of roles that require that type of experience, it's going to be very competitive.
So do you think automation and cobots and that type of thing are going to fill a little bit of that gap?
I think they absolutely will. I mean, honestly, I hope they do, because that's outstanding technology, and we should use it. It makes sense. It's efficient, it's accurate, it's cost effective, right? So it makes a lot of sense in certain applications. But so much of this industry outside of production, outside of manufacturing, is very people. I mean, you can't replace that with automation.
Right.
So you think about supply chain roles, you think about program management roles, you think about sales roles, you think about operations leadership. None of that's going to get replaced with any type of automation.
True.
And that's where the skills gap is going to remain. You're going to continue to feel that for a little while.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think in the medium term here, there's going to be a huge demand ongoing for a long time for skilled workers in this industry. Yeah. Are you getting requests for people that are more familiar with data? Almost like data scientists and things like that for some of these large operators? Not so far in the work that we do, right? So the 17-year history that we have has been predominantly within the EMS sector. Right. And so we haven't really seen much demand for that kind of talent in that sector. Okay. As we expand, into our other market sectors, like the equipment that we see here this week, and like the materials that we see here this week, and other PCB and interconnect types of technology, I'm sure other robotics, we may start to have requests for that type of well, it's
skill.
Becoming such a data-hungry and data-centric business. Everything's got to be measured, every process has got to be measured. Yes, you can automatically sort out that data pool to make actionable insights.
Absolutely,
but sometimes you really need an experienced person to be able to do it too.
Well, we see on the data side, the data collection, we do see even our smaller clients really adapting the more sophisticated MES systems to make their manufacturing data more timely, more accurate, more visible, to the operators.
Yeah.
So a lot of adoption of those tools in production for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's going to be an interesting few years, Jeremy, and it's great to see the work you've done so far. And I want to thank you for coming in and telling us about it today.
I really appreciate you having me again. Yeah, I'd love to do it anytime.
Okay, thank you.
All right.
So coming up after the break, we're going to be talking to Miles Moreau, who's bringing out a new product for the kick stable.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kil-Young Technology. True 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
And welcome back. Delighted to be joined now by Miles Moreau from Kick organization out of San Diego. Nice to see you, Miles.
Good to see you, Trevor.
Yeah. So we talked last year about this new product release. You've got this thermal analysis system software.
Yeah.
Tell me, bring me up to speed with what's been happening with the rollout of that and the customer acceptance.
Yeah, it was kind of a big change for our profiling platform to go from just profiling software and some of the features and capabilities to help our customers to, we're trying to kind of lift it to the next level of what it gives for them, right? Thermal analysis. So a whole system of hardware and software that helps them with their manufacturing. So we rolled it out the end of October in 2024 and had a couple new feature sets that implemented some further AI, artificial intelligence capability in our predictive models. And so far the customer kind of acceptance of the new software and migrating from our old software has been great.
Pretty great. Yeah. Okay, good. Okay, so can we have a look at some of the information you've got on it?
Yeah, we have a screen that shows kind of the software is set up so it's more like a browser experience. More and more, that's what people are familiar with. It makes it easier to get around and learn. And like I said, you know, in this case here, we have a screen where actually as they're running a profile, they can have information of, if they need to, where they attach the TCs, an actual photo of the board. And then the software will give them that first guess for NPI of what they should set their oven to. So before they even run the board through, through our predictive model and looking at historical data, we're able to give them the settings and reduce the time it takes them for NPI. And that's just kind of the starter of this platform, one of the areas where we're introducing or have introduced AI.
Well, I mean, the first thing I look at here is it looks very clean. I love the clean layout of the screen here. It's very intuitive, obviously showing you where you can attach the thermocouples. So do they attach these thermocouples and it gets the original or the initial recipe? They run it and then the system tightens it down to a tighter profile, or? Yeah,
exactly. So it starts. It gives that first guess. You put information of what solder paste you're using, what the specifics are of your process window. It gives you that first guess. You validate the profile, and then based on your manufacturing requirements, because you don't want to just say, just give me a recipe that's in spec, because it could be anywhere in the process window. You want it to be robust, or depending on what type of manufacturing you're doing, you may want a different recipe. And that's where in the video we have, it kind of shows that what the predictive software the AI has. So rather than just say, give me a recipe, it's give me a recipe that meets my manufacturing requirements. So if I'm trying to do some high reliability like medical or aerospace, I want a quality profile to minimize, get in the middle of the process window as best as possible. So the best possible solder joints. So that's one search engine that looks for that. If I'm a high volume manufacturer, I want a good in-spec profile, but I want to increase my conveyor speed, my cycle time. Or reduce my cycle time, and then get more throughput. In Europe now especially, with the energy prices they are, now we can search for recipes that reduce the heat and the power consumption. And then our latest model with the TAS software is finding a common recipe among different assemblies. So now their changeover time is reduced, and they have more, you know, their OEE is much better, their equipment utilization.
I mean, that's where a lot of the time is lost, is in ramping up the oven temperature or ramping it down. You know, it just takes time. So if you can get a more common recipe.
Exactly. And in the past, profiling has been kind of more a pain, right? It's a task. Well, we have to do something just to check the profile. But now we look at it as, you know, implementing these predictive models and recipe search is now you can actually make that match the rest of your manufacturing. So don't just give me a recipe that meets my needs. If you're spending, which most companies do, is driven around the pick and place and minimizing the changeover. They have a $500,000 machine, all this software to say, use these component racks and these products and run it today, and then you have to wait 30 to 40 minutes because the oven is taking a long time to change over. Well, you've wasted all that efficiency when you're changing over the oven. So that's just another use case for us to say, okay, how can we apply, our prediction and this AI technology to help the customer out in those situations.
Right, absolutely. Yeah. No, I think it's a great addition to your suite of software and helping customers to optimize and maximize what they're getting out their ovens. So it's really good. So I'm excited for you. It looks like it's starting to get a good rollout.
And the nice thing is, especially when you have technology like this, is now one of the kind of expertise that Kick has too is developing new ways of sensing. So being able to capture other types of data and then include that into our predictive models, into our search engine. So now we can take other variables in the process and help improve in other ways for the customer. So this next year, we're planning on ramping out some more capability in different applications. And when I say applications, I mean thermal processes, or different processes on the manufacturing floor, not just mainly focusing on reflow, but wave solder. Selective solder is where we're looking, we'll have some more solutions with vapor phase, even with reflow. Some of the things we can do with other aspects on the exhaust or the fan speeds and different things where the customer can be really assured of that process and the soldering, which is a main part of that they're doing it right in the way they need to.
Okay, that's great. So let me ask you, how are you employing AI in this process to really optimize?
It's kind of a combination of a couple things. So we use a lot of the data that our systems collect, historical data, and then through our predictive algorithm, we can kind of learn from that data to anticipate or know what the setting should be, for example. The other thing we can do is by looking at the historical data of a bunch of different products. The other aspect is not just the prediction, but if you predict and you come up with a good recipe, that's fine. And that's kind of what the old school way of doing it was. But it was trial and error. You ran it through. So how do we leverage AI or some type of algorithm in the search mode, not just the predictive mode, because there's tens of thousands of recipes on the oven, or millions actually, when you think of the combinations, degree by degree, with the conveyor speed differences. So which of those million recipes is the right one? So just like on Google, when you type in a term, they're like, how many millions of websites does that term apply to? But somehow Google is able to find ones that will help you and are relevant to you. So that is the same thing. We have this predictive model, and then we have to do a good job of searching on those predictions to say, hey, this is the most relevant recipe for you. All right? That's our search, not a web page, it's a recipe. So that, and then the more data we can incorporate into that, then the system becomes smarter and smarter.
And of course, it ends up, self-teaching itself.
Yes, and then regardless of your oven, the system starts to learn about it and get better and better.
Great. Well, looks like you're on the right path with it, Miles. It's an exciting product, and I want to thank you for coming in and telling us about it today.
All right, thank you, Trevor. I appreciate it.
Okay, thank you. Okay, coming up after the break, we will have our final guest for the afternoon here on Live at Apex.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kil-Young Technology, true 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
Kaizen is the leading global supplier of award-winning cleaning chemistries for electronics assembly operations. Whether you are cleaning stencils or final assemblies, our global team of cleaning experts is there to help you succeed. Want to know more? Stop by our booth or visit kaizen.com.
For micro dispensing, there is one product line that is proven and trusted by manufacturers in semiconductor packaging, electronics assembly, medical device, and electromechanical assembly the world over. DL Technology, superior pumps and needles for the finer things in life.
Video proudly sponsored by Kil-Young Technology, True 3D inspection for the SMT industry.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.
And welcome back. Well, of course, that brings us to the end actually of today's programming from IPC Apex here in Anaheim. There's been lots of innovation shared with you on the shows throughout the day today, and we've still got some more to come tomorrow morning, so make sure you tune in for that. But for now, this is goodbye from us in California.
Synchro. Join the revolution. Non-stop selective soldering. Increase UPH. Reduce maintenance. Small footprint. Contact us today for more details.